Welcome to the Obvious Podcast. This is episode number 96. I am Sonny Macon, COO at ABC Florida East Coast.
And I'm Peter Daiga, President and CEO at ABC Florida East Coast.
You are listening to the Obvious Podcast or watching the Obvious Podcast, where all opinions expressed are our own, unless we say otherwise.
Love the show? Subscribe on any major podcast platform or watch us in action on YouTube. Follow the Obvious Podcast on Instagram, X, Truth Social, and TikTok. All the links you need are in the show notes. Reach out to us anytime at theobvious@abceastflorida.com. And if you're enjoying the ride, help others find us by leaving a review wherever you listen. So happy Friday, Sonny.
Happy,
This might be a holiday Friday for some.
but you got us working.
So, yep, well, here we are working.
Happy Quincentennial? Happy Semi-Quincentennial Eve.
Happy birthday, America. That's what we're
That's
celebrating.
right. We're
here.
celebrating
So,
America's
right?
birthday. It's July 3rd. We're hoping you're having a great weekend.
Have you seen the memes like, I'm old enough to remember the bicentennial? Well, I am literally old enough to remember the bicentennial.
Are you really? Yeah.
Were you born after the bicentennial?
I was born, when was the bicentennial?
1970.
1976. I was a year old.
Okay.
So I was around, but I don't remember it.
Train that went around. And by the way, some of the founding documents landed in Miami. Miami's one of like
Really?
8 cities that are
Wow.
hosting them.
That's
So if you're not aware,
I was not aware.
You don't have to travel to Washington anymore.
Oh, speaking of founding documents, I have a fun fact for you.
Yes.
So I was doing a little bit of, usually as you know, I mean, I hope our audience knows, we just sit down and start talking. We really don't engage in a lot of show prep.
I'm sure it doesn't show.
It doesn't show. But this time I wanted to be a little prepared because, you know, it's America's birthday. It's 250 years. It's a semi-quincentennial is the 250.
Very complicated.
Thank you, Mr. Producer.
250.
I was just curious. I did some research, right? And I found out that the bill, the Declaration of Independence, like the actual bill, was passed on July 2nd,
Okay.
right? And it took them 2 days to write. And so when they wrote the actual Declaration of Independence, it was written on July 4th. That was the date. And it actually didn't completely get signed until August. But that's the document that made the rounds for July 4th.
Okay.
But one of the founding fathers, now I'm blanking on who it was, I'm going to look this up. One of the founding fathers was convinced that July 2nd would be the date that we would celebrate.
Okay.
So I think he wrote a letter to his wife on July 3rd and said July 2nd will forever be the day in America
Oh, close.
where they would celebrate Independence Day with fireworks and parades. And I always thought that was interesting that mistake got made by him. But then everybody is really celebrating it on the 4th.
Yeah, go out, by the way. There's going to be it's a movie this weekend that's around the country. It's called The Young George Washington, I think.
Really?
Maybe free or virtually free. So it'd be a great way to celebrate July 4th. Go see a movie about
John Adams.
So John Adams was the one that
John Adams thought it was going to be July 2nd. Yeah.
Very cool.
So this movie, Young George Washington?
Young George Washington, I think it's
Okay.
called. Yeah, I mean, I only know that because during our legislative conference, I was there a day earlier and had some free time and went to Mount Vernon. I hadn't been in years.
Oh, wow.
Been a
Yeah.
long time. And it's, from my recollection, it's changed quite a bit, been developed quite a bit, which is cool. I mean, redeveloped or restored. You know. So, but anyway, it was quite impressive. So,
You know, I was
I
thinking,
found very interesting that in one of the main room of the house where they did most of their entertaining and whatnot had a picture of Mary on the wall.
really?
Yeah, of the Virgin Mary. So
Wow.
George Washington had and I think St. John, he had 2 pictures, biblically related pictures. The rest were mostly landscapes from the countryside, American countryside, and waterfalls and lakes and whatnot.
Okay.
Anyway, and this was reflecting the way they understood it to be. They were pretty confident about most of the furniture and everything they have is pretty much as it was.
As it was?
When he
Wow.
passed away. So anyway, I found that interesting,
That's
right? 'Cause
Yeah.
he was,
He was an Anglican?
I think he was an Anglican.
He was an Anglican, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
And they ended up becoming Episcopalians, right? The Anglicans turned into Episcopalians.
Right.
And, yeah, but that's
Another show.
not.
But today we're celebrating the 250th
250th
birthday of America. So I hope you having a great weekend. Go see a great movie. Enjoy your hot dogs and hamburgers and barbecue.
Do you have any traditions?
Usually beach when we can.
Beach?
You know.
Okay.
Yep, I think.
So I have a really silly one because I was in high school when this movie came out. called Independence Day about the aliens with Will Smith. So every July 4th, we watch that together, right?
Unique.
And my kids are like, that's so cheesy. Look how terrible the special effects are, But you're going to shut up and appreciate America. Like, I don't care. I don't care how terrible the special effects are.
So, I don't know. What do you think? What is the state of the country 250 years later? So I worry a lot. I'll be honest. I talk a lot about. I really, it seems like a day doesn't go by where I don't read some story and I'm going to use this fancy word because it's a critocracy. You know what a critocracy is?
No.
It's a government that's run by judges.
Oh, wow!
Instead of elected officials.
And they came up with a word for that. And
when you have judges every day that are basically deciding, well, no, the chief executive can't really execute, right? He can't really run the government. He can't really. I mean, I worry. Yeah. It's not so much kings we have to worry about, but a critocracy.
I see your point, but I don't have much faith in Congress either, right? Like I look at these guys, and certainly presidents come and go, and we've had some. I'm old enough to live through some really real doozies when it comes to presidents. And it's just, I think what scares me about the future of the country is this whole idea of how just massively divided our worldviews are. Like half or whatever that number is, the country just sees the world.
Isn't it? All right, so that's enough of the negativity.
Yes.
So we're going to talk because there are, it seems like half of us that just don't love their country enough to where we really have been brought and humbled by some recent videos, especially during the World Cup, of Europeans or maybe not from Europe, but just foreigners,
Asians,
somebody from outside the country visiting, and their observations in these videos. Maybe you all have seen some of them, but we just thought they were so.
These neighborhoods look exactly the same as every movie you've ever seen. The American flags, people have got race flags up. This old couple just walked past me and they go, "Good morning." I was like, what the hell? Did you guys talk to each other here?
Like, this is a high school stadium. What? Look at the amount of seats in this place. Do they actually fill these stadiums? Like, do people actually come for the games and actually fill these out? Because that's honestly mental. Like, that is crazy. There is a ton of seats in here. If this was England, it would literally be like on a little park field with dog everywhere.
It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. There really is. Like no other. I honestly think unless you live in America or unless you visit here, you can't really comprehend how nice these areas are.
Such a great, some of them more serious than others, but so we're gonna run some of them.
Yep, we're gonna play some videos
in the course of this birthday celebration for our country, because I don't know, maybe it's kind of cool to see how others, and instead of focusing on the negativity, see how others, when they're visiting America.
My favorite was a French guy at Buc-ee's, and he's like, this bookie, and he's got a French accent, which I'm obviously not going to try and emulate. And he's like, this Buc-ee's has 120 stations, pumps. And he's like, are they refueling the American Air Force? Like, he's so confounded,
yes.
And then he goes inside and he's even more confounded. He's like, I'm used to a broken coffee machine and
then there's a
terrible sandwich.
There's a million of them about them eating at the most simplest of food, right, or fast food or stuff, and they just think it's the best thing since.
Some guy was some German guy named Freddie. He's all over the social medias. He was at a Waffle House at 1 a.m. eating breakfast. And he's like, we will definitely be back. This is amazing,
right? There's a picture of the one guy or several actually, with people visiting Walmart, and they're just astounded, by the, it harkens back to, I think it was Nikita Khrushchev, who visited some grocery store back in the,
Boris Yeltsin. Boris Yeltsin. Yep.
Where he just couldn't, he
couldn't believe
he as a leader didn't realize the lies that they were telling their people. They thought they'd come to a capitalist America and see scarcity
here
on the shelves, and he saw the exact opposite. So there's one that I just found kind of funny because my sister visited in Costa Rica once, our house in Costa Rica, and we got interviewed by a very popular evening or nighttime show there called Quejese, I think. And it's kind of a comedy, like making fun of Costa Ricans and people. And we're in the middle of a busy street in downtown San Jose, and they asked, they caught wind of this gringa, and they were like, went up to her and interviewed her. And said, "Oh, you're visiting, what do you think of Costa Rica?" And my sister is like, "Oh," like a stupid foreigner would do. "Oh, Costa Rica, everything is muy bueno," and they ran her that night. And so it reminds me of this. There's this Asian guy who's in Texas, and he doesn't speak good English or broken English in one of these videos, and he's like, "Oh my God, Texas is great.
Right.
Everything's so big," talking about Texas. So
Of America, Texas.
Texas is good. Everything is big.
I've stayed in some like authentic Japanese hotels. I would never go back to one of those. I mean, it's like,
because of their size.
oh yeah, everything is just so tiny
Sure.
and so small.
So do you recall any of the others that you've seen, or
Yeah, so this Freddie guy, they can't believe how friendly Americans are. Like some guy
Tell me
tweeted
more
about how,
that. That's beautiful.
right? He got a ride like an hour away because he was trying to save money on Uber. And
A lot of Texas ones about the barbecue and the eating out there. They just, oh my God, and the friendliness of people, which is awesome. There's some real serious ones just about people walking around downtowns and parks and how beautiful and clean and friendly and
which kind of makes you wonder how does the European media portray America,
does make you wonder.
right? If this is how flabbergasted they are.
There was one guy who was like cancel your vacations to Ibiza.
Yeah, Ibiza.
Just cancel them and come to America. He's like, the Chamber of Commerce couldn't do a better job. Or
They've lost their way anyway, but that's a different conversation.
so,
But I wanted to ask
50
you,
years is big, man.
yeah, but I wanted to ask you a question. What do you have a favorite part of the Declaration of Independence?
A favorite part of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I mean, I think the recognition that we're endowed with these things by our Creator.
There you go. Nailed it.
And that they're inalienable rights. They're not things that government gives us.
Or can take
no,
away.
Thank you, Mr. Whoever or Mrs. Whoever. It's not a privilege that you grant us.
So can we talk about how
our God-given
unusual that was for 1776?
Well, it's pretty damn unusual.
Right.
It's groundbreaking.
To groundbreaking to say your rights don't come from government or from a king
That's right.
or from an emperor. They literally just come from God, and nobody can take it away from you.
That's right. So, but you got to protect it. Only one generation
Because
away.
judges will take it away from you.
Judges and So,
Politicians,
yeah.
right?
So absolutely. So
I do worry about the divide in this country, but I think, I never thought I would live through a time where nationalism or patriotism would become
controversial.
It's
crazy,
Right? Like
isn't
that's
it?
insane to me that patriotism is controversial.
Yeah.
But that it's somehow emblematic of some of these other negative traits in people. I don't get that. Being the son of immigrants, I really don't understand that whole concept. Mm-hmm. Those of us who have chosen to make this our home and assimilate and be part of this culture and be part of this country. Like I know the love and appreciation for what the meritocracy of this country. I mean, I know so many immigrants who are just in love with America. Mm-hmm. And what America has allowed them.
Right. Well, it used to be kind of the core of our immigrant, population of people, and there's some fair criticism or questioning about whether we've gotten away from that, whether we're actually trying to be deliberate and thoughtful and intentional about who we allow to assimilate. And by the way, it's over 1 million people a year. 1 million people a year that legally are allowed to come and immigrate to the United States. So, if we're not, and we always have been very deliberate about making sure that it's the people that want to take advantage of that meritocracy, of the fact that they can work hard and achieve almost anything they want. We talked in recent podcasts about this one welder that was part of SpaceX that became
become a millionaire,
$100,000 millionaire overnight because of the stocks that he's owned from working for that company for years. That's maybe an exceptional example, but the country's full of them, full of people that just work hard. And by the way, I mean, there's always somebody that makes more or has more than you, right? But what does it take to feel like a king in this country? That's the way
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah. That's a very interesting question.
Safe, secure, be able to eat the way we're able to eat. Anyway, it doesn't take much, and that's the beauty of the country. So, so I think that's the beauty, the meritocracy, the being able to pursue freedom. And then these videos, to me, drove home the simple things are part of what makes America great.
Yeah.
Simple, silly things.
Yeah.
There were some that were like, he had a, I don't know if you saw this one. He had a cup. We got to find this one. And he had a soda, and he said, I can get free refills of this?
I can refill.
Yeah. You want one Coke Zero or two?
I can refill this 1,000 times.
Yeah, but you won't drink 1,000 cups of
You don't know
Coca-Cola.
me. And it's free.
You paid for it. You paid it.
Once.
Bro, slow down.
I mean, it's just, right? These are silly, simple things, but they're liberties in a way.
I saw one related. Absolutely, they're liberties. There was one. You know those machines, the Coke machines. That you can press buttons and like make
sure.
all this. And he had his drink sitting there. Took a picture, and the screen's of course filled with options. He's like, "How am I expected to choose?" Right? Like he was flabbergasted. Like I can't pick from this. Like what is this? And it's just it shows you sort of the European mentality or
Even the
mindset.
size of the cup, I think,
Yeah,
was like,
they get completely
limit
thrown
that
off.
now. It is liberty.
It is liberty.
It's like, yeah.
And being able to choose what you want to eat, drink, when, where, how, like having.
Sure. So, I don't know. Celebrate that. Enjoy that this weekend, right? Yeah. Defend it.
Yeah. I have a great Bucky story for you. It was in the last, 10 years, post-COVID, but so in the last, 6 years, 4 years, I decided to take my family to St. Augustine for Christmas.
Okay.
So, my parents are there.
It's beautiful.
My dog's there. It's beautiful.
The white light.
On Christmas, yeah. So we were staying at this like big resort, and I just assumed we'll have Christmas dinner at the resort. And I didn't bother making reservations. So Christmas Day, I can't get a table anywhere.
Wow.
It's booked. Across the street from our hotel was a Bucky's.
Oh, my God.
So we ended up
Father
eating.
of the year.
My kids loved it because I love barbecue.
Bucky's.
Yeah, my parents were pretty upset. They were like, "We're eating Christmas dinner at a gas station." I'm like, "No, we're buying it at a gas station and taking it back to our hotel."
It's not a gas station. It's a country store with some pumps.
With some pumps, with
120 pumps.
120 pumps. But that was my first time in a Bucky's, and I was like, "Wow, Christmas Day." That I'm actually stepping foot in a Bucky's and getting food for my family. So yeah, never made that mistake again. I learned my lesson. But Christmas Day, the place was packed. I mean, it's open. They're making fresh barbecue. The food is being turned over real fast, and just this idea of choice, right? Capitalism and free markets. I mean, you see that in effect like every day in this country.
Absolutely.
And it's a gift that comes from knowing that the government doesn't control you, that your rights come from God, and you have the freedom to succeed, but you also have the freedom to fail, right? Like that's the whole sort of, in meritocracy,
Not equal outcomes.
it's not equal outcomes. Not everybody rises to the top. And I think that freedom to succeed and the freedom to fail is what has made this country great.
Right.
And all the countries that have tried to de-minimize the freedom to fail, you can tell, have also really put a hold on the freedom to succeed.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's really the price you pay for whether you have freedom or you don't. And I think when you lose the fact that freedom is sacrosanct, and I think that's when countries and cultures and all of that gets destroyed. But apparently, according to the internet, we are one of the oldest continuous constitutional republics there is at 250 years. It's apparently very, very rare. Yeah. So obviously grateful to be an American, grateful to be celebrating this 250th Independence Day with you and with our audience and with this great show. And just we've done so many episodes on meritocracy and freedom and open markets. And to kind of see that from a European perspective has been super interesting, So Mr. Producer has just informed me that the United States is the second oldest constitutional republic in the history of the world. And the oldest is the nation of San Marino. And I know our audience is like, where the hell is San Marino? Why have I never heard of it? It's a tiny little
Undisputed fact.
According to Mr. Producer, it is. Okay. So I'm not going to argue with him.
All right.
But San Marino is a little city-state inside of Italy. And you thought Italy only had one city-state inside it, which was the Vatican.
One.
But it actually has two countries within it.
Okay. Huh. And how much older?
1,700 years. Wow. They've been a constitutional republic for 1,700 years.
That's really hard to believe.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Little country you've never even heard of. San Marino.
What's your favorite civil liberty?
Speech.
Bill of Rights.
Speech.
Speech. And what does that mean? Because I think, again, all these things are being challenged a bit these days. Does that just mean the ability to say things that are acceptable or not offensive?
Oh, I think that's the
opposite, right?
Yeah, it's the opposite. I think I want people to say the most offensive things there are, even things that would upset me personally. They have the right to say.
It used to be, they make fun of old timers like me, but there used to be a saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never
hurt me.
And it was important little fable or whatever you call those things,
Yeah.
Little sayings that our grandparents had. And the point of that was exactly, I think it was, in a way, it was about free speech. Mm-hmm. It was you
can say whatever.
Names and words don't hurt people. They may be offensive, they may be ugly, they certainly can be wrong. Mm-hmm. But the foundation of one of our civil liberties and the Bill of Rights is free speech, which again, it's important to say, doesn't mean only being able to say what's unoffensive or what people accept.
Yep.
It's quite the opposite.
Absolutely.
And it's important for that. So do you have another one?
Religion.
Absolutely.
That's
profoundly
important. I'm glad that.
And what does it mean and what doesn't it mean?
We're out of time. Come on, I'm so glad we're out of time.
We got enough time for this.
Oh. Historically, it was about denominationalism. We were trying to avoid. I don't think the founding fathers ever encouraged or envisioned a country as pluralistic as we have ended up being. I think they were just thinking.
I think that's true. But it was kind of to avoid a state church.
A state church, yeah.
But
because they came from.
But again,
skipping a state
the old saying of it's freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. So there were certainly no limitations on exercising it in the public square.
Right.
It's just a matter of the public square endorsing any one particular denomination. So,
I do want to end on this note, and I wanted to kind of say this point about when we were in D.C. A few weeks ago. You're driving around and you're seeing all the monuments and the Jefferson and the Washington and all I could think about was like everything.
By the way, that city's beautiful now.
Yeah,
we visited it recently. Did you get out at all?
I did. I saw the reflecting.
Somebody who's been visiting there. There was a period in my life when every summer I would be there on the Capitol for the Capitol 4th and watching the fireworks and stuff. I have spent many weeks or weekends there, and I've never seen the city that's I don't know.
It reminded me of when I used to live there for college. So, because it was very beautiful then, and it just reminded me of that time frame when it was.
Anyway, sorry I interrupted you.
I was just going to talk about. I don't know if you want to ring your bell. I was just going to talk about how important builders have been to this country.
Amen.
You look at the monuments, and you look at these amazing buildings, and the Supreme Court building, and the Building Museum, and you're just like literally. Skilled tradespeople built that with their hands.
If you ever walk through the Capitol, I've always loved the pictures that are on the side of the corridors between
of the construction.
The history of those buildings and buildings around D.C. being constructed and whatnot. So
beautiful.
Yep, that's our industry. That's our folks.
Yep,
our people.
It's our people who did that.
Hardworking, grit.
Yep. Grit-filled Americans.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. Hope you enjoy it. Be safe. And we'll see you. If you have any comments you want to send us, you can always do so at theobvious at abceastflorida.com.
We'll see you next Friday.
Be safe. Ciao.
Take care.